So now maybe we can talk about like our different emotions, like, and how we own them, or like what is it like our feeling about it, right? Yeah.
Yes. Because I do feel, especially when it comes to the negative emotions, Gunjan, people have, they are not able to understand how to handle that. Like you said that for you, it was channeling your emotions. And that's actually channeling means that you were trying to vent out in a particular way, and that's what we need to learn also. What is your way to vent out your anger, your sorrow, your grief? Your way was to use it in the professional life and become maybe overproductive or workaholic.
Yeah.
The way you did that. So if we talk about, let's start with the negative. One of the negative emotions we can like dodge with positive, negative, that way.
Yeah, like it's all like overlap of everything. So yeah. Anyway.
I think because we were talking about the aggression part, let's start with that. And I feel, it's a combination of what we have learned since our childhood, that you should not show anger. Anger is not a good thing. Keep it inside you. Don't answer back. All those things has already made it like, if we feel anger or we feel the emotions associated with it, like envy, jealousy, anger, resentment, all these things. And if we feel it for the people who we love, for example, if I experience jealousy for my sibling, I would start feeling guilty about it, and I would say, no, I should not feel it, I should stop it, and I would try to suppress it rather than listening to it. But then whenever we experience any negative emotion, I feel it has a message for us. It's for us to have a clarity and understand that something needs to be changed. That is the reason we are experiencing it. So if anger is coming, even if it is coming in your important relationships, that means you should start asking. You should get aware that what is it that needs to be changed, rather than just, suppressing that anger inside you, so that it actually deteriorates and degrades everything. Your one fine day you'll get up and the relationship would not be there at all. So I feel, first of all, being able to accept that it's okay that I'm feeling anger. So the feel part and accepting it, and then being thankful that you are feeling that. Because now you have to understand that, oh, I need to change something needs to be done, isn't it? What do you feel?
Yes.
How we can work on anger?
So yes, so as I said, anger has been like a very core part of my life for long, because I think in our family it has been celebrated. So we are not the people like they've been told us that anger is a bad thing. It's like we've been shown that anger is the way you can get shit done. Like this is how we've been like not like, so it's a very different dynamic. Although we do have like other thing also, we do have love, empathy. It's not like that we are very strong heads who want to kill each other. No, that's not a thing. For us, anger was like linked to passion. So for us, like anger was like kind of a way of driving the passion, and that's what I said. This is how I used to channel, because for me, anger was like that. I'm angry. It means that I'm right, because my passion is calling out, and I need to do it. So, like anger again defined by a lot of people differently, because your anger could be different than mine, and for the other person, mine will be only triggered like if I feel that there is like some kind of thing which is not happening right in terms of moral value or like something, and then that triggers me. Like, or the thing which people will try to like suppress you just because you are being junior or something, then that will come. Like, like that's kind of stuff. And I felt like, and I even read this somewhere, that anger is always like a second emotion. The first emotion is something which you feel like, which you don't understand, and then the anger comes out. It's like the feeling of hurt, like a feeling of sadness, like a resentment, or something happens first. Then the anger comes out, because that first thing no one acknowledged. You didn't see it, like you don't know where it is, and you always jump for the anger because that's the easiest way. Because it just comes in your body, and that's also part I wanted to attach to that. Like with negative emotion, there is certain way of your body feels which makes you do things, because it just comes up and you're just like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna just go for it. So for long, that's what I said. Like for long, for me, anger was like passion or sometimes taking care. As well, if someone is not listening, I will just go all wild about it. Then why you're not listening? Because I think this is how I've been taught the way to channel that, right? But then, like, it became that it's not necessary. It's like now in my life, like anger is something which would be extreme of anything, because you maintain your balance so hard, like, and so long, like that you are at this contentment phase, like where you don't feel it too much. Like if anger even comes, you are mostly likely to think about what is it causing from. You know, you're not gonna act on it. The way you said, you don't need to act. Like act is the part which comes when you know what you're doing exactly, right? So that's why, like, now anger has taken like a backstage, but like also like dealing with passive aggressiveness is something which I'm starting to learn, like I recently, and now I'm getting more aware and aware, because passive aggressiveness happens like subconsciously. It happens like that you're not able to say it, but you want to show it, but you can't be angry also. You know, so that thing happens. So now I'm becoming very aware. Like if there is a certain point, like I react to a certain manner, I would correct it there and then. You know, I would try to talk there and then so that it doesn't go with me to the home. You know, like that's how it is. What about you?
This point that you told is so brilliant,
Sorry.
Gunjan, that anger is the second emotion. Because once you understand what is causing that anger, you have that self-awareness and you can work on the in a way that you can. So, this is so good, and I'm going to actually remember this and incorporate it in a few things of my own
Fitness,
and
yes.
in my clients as well, also. And coming from here, that you said that that the contentment and the balance part has helped you overcome that extreme part of aggression, or even now working on your passive aggression part. I feel, let's switch to the positive emotion, like of joy. So when we talk about the happy emotions or the positive emotions, I feel here also sometimes you will find some people okay expressing it, but sometimes undervaluing those happy emotions, or sometimes you find people might not be expressing it fully, because your subconscious mind also needs to have that dopamine snack to get that energy to move forward. Because I feel a lot of entrepreneurs, they neglect these small emotions or positive packets of emotion. If there is some incident that has happened in their life, they do not want to experience it more, probably because of the culture, hustle culture, or whatever it is. And that in turn, I feel, really affects their performance. Because once your body, your mind does not feel that happiness, it does not see that you are achieving something, at the end of the day, the wearing off will start happening. So I feel, in terms of positive emotions, of course, it's not giving you any signal to change anything, but it's giving you something that you need to amplify whatever you're doing right now, so that it fills your cup up, and so that you are able to face other hurdles and obstacles and progress. So I feel I encounter this then in a lot of clients of mine who are entrepreneurs, that they are not giving that due part or due mindfulness or presence to their positive emotions to experience it and to amplify it. What have your experience been when it comes to positive?
This is so true that a lot of people like hold back on the positive ones, like the feeling of happy and joy, and they let go of the negative one. In the sense, they amplify the negative one because that's easy, because that is not in control, and that's how they come back. And it's like, it was not in my control. I was like, seriously, you can control your fucking happiness, but you can't control your anger. Like that's so weird. And this is so true that like in your like when you're working in any day part, like if you have experienced the normal joy, like like some joke or some laugh, you need to actually amplify and take it with you. And okay, I've been the loudest like in my any kind of work like scenario or anything, in terms of not just the way I talk or anything. It's more about like I used to laugh the fullest. Anything makes me amused, I'm gonna be laughing so strong that everyone should hear it. And I didn't stop it like when I came to Germany. Because in Germany, like that's the thing. First I had to think about that, should I be like that or not? In some companies, I will be in some like like I'll be in the corner or somewhere, and I'll be the one like everyone will be hearing, because I'm the one who's laughing the long, like the loudest. And this is what I'm saying, like that you as you said, that you need to experience it, because that energizes everything of you, that even let you go any issues happening in the work scenario or professional or personal life, because in one day, if you're laughing 3 to 4 times, that changes entire mood and mindset of yours, like for the entire day. And like, I just really want to know, like, I want to see this, like, and I want to ask people that, like, maybe make a count how many times you laugh the fullest in a day. That will make the change. Like, if you're not laughing, then there is something wrong. Maybe you need to find the happiness, because this, a lot of people get normal with. They get normal with being having this frown all the time, all day, and then they go to Botox to get it straight. And I was like, but on the first place, why you have this? Like, why you keep doing this for all the time? You need to have this because you're laughing. That's how it works. So yeah, like that's my way. Like, because yeah, I can't control that. I can't control the happiness, like, or like take it out. That's what I say. For anger, I can now. So it's opposite for me. This is how it is. What do you feel?
So, from joy and happiness, if we come to the extreme opposite of it, the grief part. So, what has been your experience when it, because I think it's one of the toughest ones to handle, especially when you have lost somebody from your life, or some, incident or accident has happened. So, grief is something that really takes long to go. So, what do you feel about that, and how has been your relationship with grief?
Grief is the tricky one, because like, grief is something which, yes, again, same thing. We've been not allowed to even express, like, feel it. We've been not allowed to, like, think about or like go through those times, because no one gives us grief holidays. Like, they should give us like some leaves, like when you're grieving, but there is nothing which is in the professional life. But I'm happy that I'm an entrepreneur now, that I can take my break if I'm going through something, right? But grief is such a thing which does take time, and again, it needs its own time to understanding, of like letting go, like of understanding that what happened, why happened. If you have lost a person for good, then like taking your time to actually cherish the moments like which you had with it, because again, if you suppress the grief, I think that takes out like a lot of happiness around you and from you, because you start holding yourself back to love someone else. Like, you start holding yourself back to even get attached to someone. And that has happened to me like that. Like, when I lost my grandmom, like, it took me years, like, really. First, I didn't get it. I thought I should be over it. But there is always like this sadness which is along with you, which is going with you, and that's grief is. Because it takes way long to heal or to forget or to become normal about it, that like, okay, now you have lost it, but be happy or grateful. So I think with grief, the gratefulness should come in, and you should practice that more, right? That you should practice like that, why you're grateful that you met that person, or what has happened with that, like, and what you learned from that. I feel that's like the best way to like heal out from it. But then there is friendship grief, and there is like love grief, like, and okay, the love one doesn't affect me that much. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's like with the boyfriend cases, it's like it's not that like, because I feel that takes way longer. Like, you need to have at least to grieve properly to someone is more like you should have spent some like 3 to 4 or 5 years with the person to like live with them. But like with the friendship grief, I've experienced a lot. I have experienced it so many times that people change, you change, and then you have to let go of friendship. And that part is the most difficult, because I don't know what you call it, but it's the most difficult part of letting go of someone who's still living. It's like you're still trying to like experience, and they have just changed the path. That's what happens. And like for me, it's more of like that every day I have to remind myself that why you lost it, like, or what has happened. And again, being grateful about that you had time with that person, and you still can find new people. So again, I try not to close myself down. Every time I experience grief, I try to keep it open as possible, to let it out, like, and let it feel that, like, to keep that love alive inside me, then closing myself and just not letting anyone in. Like, so that's kind of a stuff. What about you? Yeah, it's very heavy.
It's heavy, but it's so beautiful the way you explained it, Gunjan. Because I'll tell you, because in my case, the strongest grief emotion that I faced was when I lost my father, and it's still there. The healing part is still going on because it stays. I mean, you cannot just completely erase it from your life. And I met this girl in my workshop on Sunday also. She's just 21 and she has also recently lost her father. And I was also of the same age when I lost my father. And I told her one thing which was kind of, which I heard from someone who was talking about grief, that that girl lost, like the third person who I heard the interview of, that she lost both her parents in COVID, and the interviewer was asking that how did you handle it, and she is Malika Dua, if you know, she's a stand-up comedian and actor in India, quite famous. Yeah, so she said one thing, she said that for the same thing, that for grief your gratitude has to be very strong, because now I don't have this narrative, or I don't say to myself that I'm the girl who lost both her parents. I'm the girl who had the best both parents. And that was something like, oh my god, yes. Why am I remembering myself that I'm the girl who just lost her father? And all of a sudden, I'm the girl who had the best father, who taught me so much, and I am the kick-ass woman who I am today because of all the teachings that he gave me. And that's what I told her, and she had tears in her eyes, but she, like, that moment was, I still have goosebumps telling you that.
I'm getting it right now. You're talking about it.
But that kid, I could see it in her eyes that thing hit her also, and she also understood that, this is going to be my recipe for working on my grief, that I don't have to remember it this way, that, something bad happened to me. I have to remember it with the good memories and being grateful that those 21 years of my life, I got the best from my father. So I feel that gratitude part that you said, I resonate with it so much, and it has to be done actually every day. It has to be very strong. Then only you make peace with that sadness. Otherwise, it's always there, and it somehow affects you a lot in your behavior, the way you see things, your overall optimism in life. It changes a lot. And as you said, yes, in terms of friendship, I feel one thing that has given me a little bit of solace or peace is that remembering that anyone comes in our life comes with a purpose, and when the purpose is over, the person's work in our life is over, and then the person may walk out. So same goes with the friends. It's okay, we change, we grow as a person, and we might not be able to have those same friendships again, because for us our priorities and our way of perceiving things change, and maybe theirs don't. So we have to peacefully and lovingly part ways.
I know.
But we'll always have that affection and love for the person or our friends. We'll see them from distance and we'll give them our blessing. That's how I feel the grief of separating in friendship can have that kind of medicine or ointment on it.
Yeah, it's like, because it hurts the most. Like, it hurts like you in terms of, because your entire, because friendship is more about that your personality depends on it. Like, your entire, this, like, how do you say, ego about it, like that you have certain kind of friends because they're close, and that's all, like, is about it. But then at certain point you have to choose something else, which you had to, and then you have to get out, like, from there, like, and that causes it, like. But then that's what I'm saying, with the death, like, grief, there is some part of you changes. This is something I've realized, like, that when you lose someone who you are closest with or you love the most, that changes you as a person, in terms of you become even more loving than anything else, and you become even more empathetic, because now you realize that pain which can't be compared to anything else. So don't you feel like grief also teaches you patience and tolerance also? Like, it teaches you how to love more, in terms of not getting affected a lot, like, by a lot of things, which a lot of people do, like, in normal scenario.
Yeah, I think grief actually teaches you to stop taking things for granted.
Yes.
And stop taking people for granted.
That's for sure, yeah.
So when you suddenly lose somebody and then you realize that, oh, I could not get enough to do what I wanted to do for that person, so then whatever you're left with, whatever people you're left with, you realize that now I'm not going to take the time and the emotions of my own and the other person lightly, and you start working. And I have seen that change in me also. So I think, yes, grief is only not like, this is such a beautiful perspective that you have given, and if we think about it and people also think about it who are suffering from grief, that grief is actually changing you and making you aware that you are not supposed to take life for granted. It's time for you to live in the moment and spread as much as love you can for yourself and for people who matter to you.
Yes, that is true. And then we can maybe move on to love now. Before I start crying. So like, no, we can do that. So yeah, like from coming from grave, like the love is the one which is kind of conquers the all, like that way, in some manner. So what is your definition of love in terms of feeling it, expressing it, like, and the language of it and all that stuff, and then owning it for sure?
This will take a lot of time to talk.
Maybe we can get it like a short version of it. Yeah.
So I think, as I said, love and empathy, these things, this emotion really matters to me a lot, because my driving force emotion is love, and I want to be loved. That's important for me, and I love loving my people who are around me as my family members, or even people who have been associated with me in my professional life. I feel, Gunjan, like as a leader, there's so much this idea that as a leader you have to show yourself strong, and you have to have that distance, you have to be that, you have to have yourself at a pedestal so that the people under you should feel that you are a leader. But I had my own way, and later I learned that of course my way was the right way, but I did it. So like I had always been so loving and caring with my team. I would be there, handhold them and everything, and I realized that those people would do so much for me. They would not think of night and day, and they would say that if Uzma ma'am has said, we'll do it. And even today, when we are not even associated with that organization, even today those people stand by me. And like whenever they attend my workshop, they would be like saying so many things about me. I get all teary eyed. I feel, what have I done to am I really worth it? And all the new people who are there who do not know them, they'll be like, who are these people who are talking so much about this lady? We are here for the first time. And it gives, like, I get so overwhelmed, and sometimes it's so unbelievable that you feel, and it's all because of love. Like, I feel that I gave that love to them. I did not feel that I have to have that they are my professional team or something, so I should like adulterate my emotions. I was the way I was, my authentic self, and that emotion was reciprocated in leaps and bounds. So I tell everybody, no matter, fuck those people who tell that you should not mix emotions with profession or not. I am the living example that for me, I love them, and my like in professional life I thrived because I gave love and I got love. What about you?
That's so true. Yes, it is. It's like, I say this like that, okay, anger can drive you, or like all the negative ones can drive you to one level. But to grow from there, you might reach somewhere. Like, with the anger, passion, like all these things, by keeping everything inside, you might reach to a level where it's like you're good in finance or like something, but inside, if there is no way that you're feeling the love of being there, or like feeling the love for your own self, you're actually never going to be happy with it. Like, you can't be happy, you can't even go further. To go further, you need to learn these things. Like, that's all I know. You can't reach to the stars and be like, oh, I'm here and I never used emotions. No. We are like stars. Like, we need to feel that. Like, that's how it is. So for me, love has been like, is something which always been there. And like in India, like maybe I would say love is always taken as like love between two people, in the sense love between partners. Like, there is no much talk. There should be more talk about the love between siblings, between your friends, like your girlfriends, like between your in the sense like the kind of love with your colleagues, like, and this is all the same thing. But it's just that we are so scared to even express that because people are like, oh, what they're gonna say. You can't say I love you to your best friend. I was like, I will do that because that's how I can express, and I want to express it because now, yes, same thing like that. People might have said that being a leader, you need to have this presence that they should be scared of you. That's a very big bullshit. It's like seriously, it's like I don't know whosoever made it. Like it's just been I don't know. I don't want to say any other word, but it's like now it's more about that being a leader is that you care for them. You actually want to grow with them, and I have experienced the same thing. It's like anyone who has worked with me would have got like some ass kicked sometimes because yes, I am more like structured and kicked like that. If someone lags in certain manner when they lie to me or lie to themselves, that kind of stuff. But I have always taken care. I will be the one person who would always want the biggest, like, and the best for them. And that's what I want. Like, and I want to grow with them and I want them to grow with me. Because otherwise there is no point why I will have it. This thing. And I think, and love is something which is, I'm feeling every day more and more because, like, you feel it for yourself first. You become so established with your own self that how much you love yourself, like, it becomes that you start taking it out, like, and you start giving it out, like, because you can't do that unless, like, you have it in you. Like giving it out from an empty cup, that's what people pleaser did. And we did that. But now, like, we're filling up the entire cup, like, to actually give it out, like, so that people can feel happy. Because I think that's what I say, that you can make someone feel how you want them to feel without saying it also, It's okay if you don't want to say I love you all the time. Maybe a certain kind of gesture would make a person's, like, entire day happy. That's what I feel like with the thing. But yeah. That's
And
it.
very importantly that you said, that it starts with loving yourself first.
Yes.
So when it comes to the emotion of love other people, but it all starts from within. So love yourself first. That's the most important thing. Love your authentic self and love yourself.
Yes. And it's the hard part, like, but can be done. And once you do that, there is nothing you can stop. Like, no one can stop you. That's it. It's like your intention is right, you know your true self, you know who you are, like, and then there is no way to, like, be afraid about it,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think all in all, Gunjan, we have talked in lengths about the different emotions, our journey through the emotions. And I feel as a culmination, I only want to say to people that do not think that emotions are something that's your weakness and it's something that's wrong to express or people are going to take your undue advantage. These are all the limiting beliefs that we have come up with or we have acquired with our experiences and all. But at the end of the day, where will you go if you do not express your emotions? Because we are human beings and that's what God has created us for. We are, as it is said in all the scriptures and everywhere, that human beings are the most beautiful creation of God. And it is because we have emotions inside us. We have love, we have empathy, we have all these, beautiful, even the negative ones that we have. And having that power, that ability to express it is very important. So love your emotions, feel them, deal with them, and heal with them.
Yeah.
Most important.
And cry as much you want to, because crying is the best way to take it out. That's for sure. But yeah, no need to cry.
Cleanse your eyes also.
Yes, it's very important. I don't know why no one talks about that. But yes, so that's it for today then. And yes, we see you next time, and then we're gonna announce our workshop, right? Like next time then.
Absolutely.
Okay, take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye everyone.
Bye.